Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Professor Asher Cohen.
Hello and welcome to the Titans of Global Health. As president of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, I am delighted to be part of this event honoring Drs. Anthony Fauci, Leonard Schleifer, and George Yancopoulos. The work of today's honorees spans decades of scientific work and public health initiatives, including the current coronavirus. I think everyone will agree that the coronavirus pandemic serves as a timely reminder that our health and welfare is intimately connected to improving the health of people throughout the world. The Hebrew University is noted for interdisciplinary research that can spark innovative solutions to some of today's most challenging problems. HU has long been a world leader in medical research and innovation. Our tradition of collaboration between disciplines and institutions has not only yielded great discoveries, it has also earned the Hebrew University a reputation for global leadership and cooperation. That cooperative spirit is central to the work of the Kuvin Center for the Study of Infectious and Tropical Diseases and essential to the new era we find ourselves in. The eyes of the world has been opened to diseases that spread without warning, without caring about borders or ideologies or bank accounts. How will we overcome these deadly threats that cannot be reasoned or bargained with? How can we prevail both today and tomorrow? Today, we celebrate scientific leadership that has reached around the globe to help comfort and protect us all. We also highlight the impactful research being performed every day by the faculty, trainees, and students of the Kuvin Center for the Study of Infectious and Tropical Diseases. Proceeds from this event will go to further this great work at HU's Kuvin Center and its American friends. I want to express appreciation to each of you for your generosity. Your contribution makes you a part of our family of friends who share a concern for improved health for people throughout the world while helping to prepare us for the healthcare challenges that lie ahead. Thank you. And now, it is my honor to introduce a man whose calm, scholarly demeanor was able to cut through the chaos and fear as the pandemic spread, who gave us a much-needed voice to science as we struggle to keep ourselves and others safe in the midst of a deadly and invisible viral threat. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to virtually present the Maimonides Award to Dr. Anthony Fauci, Director of the U.S. National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases. The Maimonides Award is one of the highest honors bestowed by the American Friends of the Hebrew University. It is reserved for individuals who have not only excelled in their field, but whose caring endeavors and commitment have contributed to the betterment of humanity. Maimonides' prayer, which rivals the Hippocratic Oath in influencing medical ethics, states, "Thou hast endowed man with wisdom to relieve the suffering of his brother, to recognize his disorders, to extract the healing substances, to discover their powers, and to prepare and to apply them to suit every ill." Dr. Fauci, on behalf of the American Friends of Hebrew University and the world at large, I am honored to present you with this well-deserved award and look forward to the time when you can visit us in Israel.
President Cohen, Ambassador Gall, Dr. Arkin, my fellow awardees, Dr. Schleifer and Yancopoulos, and distinguished colleagues and friends. It is with gratitude and humility that I accept an award named after one of the greatest of physician humanists, Moses ben Maimon, better known as Maimonides. Even though I cannot be with you in person, it is especially meaningful that I join you virtually at the Hebrew University and its Sanford F. Kuvin Center for the Study of Infectious and Tropical Diseases, named after my friend Sandy Kuvin, who himself exemplified many of the virtues and skills of Maimonides. Maimonides was both a philosopher and a physician who espoused the teachings of Galen, considered the greatest physician of the Greco-Roman era. Indeed, Maimonides studied and brought into his era, in the 12th century, the nearly lost ideas of Galen. Among many other things, Galen believed strongly that physicians should also become philosophers and humanists. He even wrote a book about it, that the best physician is also a philosopher. More than a millennium after Galen's death, Maimonides pursued Galen's example, integrating medicine and philosophy in new ways that still guide us today. Maimonides taught that as human beings and as practitioners of the healing arts, we must be humble and we must live our lives and practice our art to serve others. He taught that we must respect the dignity and worth of all human beings, and that we must serve not only individual patients, but all of mankind. Practitioners of the healing arts all around the world have been following the teachings of Maimonides for nearly 1,000 years. Many have been inspired by what we call Maimonides' daily prayer of a physician. This prayer, written by a German scholar more than 200 years ago, expresses the timeless teachings of Maimonides, asking that we pledge ourselves to helping others. It has guided many of us to a life of service and love for our fellow human beings. Sandy Kuvin clearly was committed to walking in Maimonides' footsteps. Sandy cared about people, and he cared about the world we live in. At NIH and later in other pursuits, he threw his energies into defeating the deadliest diseases that affect those who are less fortunate, notably malaria, among the greatest global killers of poor children, and later HIV/AIDS, the deadly modern pandemic that began by targeting some of the most marginalized human beings. Like Maimonides, Sandy traveled far and wide. He considered his home to be the entire world and all its people, and he served them well. Later still, at the Kuvin Center, Sandy and those he taught and mentored attacked a host of other important infectious diseases, wherever they cause suffering and loss of life, including leishmaniasis, schistosomiasis, and dengue fever. In serving mankind, as Maimonides has taught, Sandy believed that cooperative science is a key to peace, not only in the Middle East, but around the world. International students and researchers, mentored and inspired by Sandy, continue to come to the Kuvin Center to learn, to collaborate, and to advance science. They are now carrying forward his work in attacking new diseases such as Zika and COVID-19. In doing so, they honor Sandy and the noble ideals of Maimonides. It was my privilege to have known Sandy and to have witnessed his good works and his inspiring humanity. The Kuvin Center reflects Sandy's commitment to ridding the world of deadly and debilitating infectious diseases, and in particular, the so-called tropical diseases, many of which we now call neglected diseases, because many of those who suffer most from them are indeed neglected people, living in poverty and without resources that we, in the developed world, take for granted. In accepting the Maimonides Award, I thank all of you for keeping alive the great and good works of Maimonides and of his modern-day disciples, such as Sandy Kuvin. I thank you for bringing their humanitarian ideals to new generations of scientists and medical practitioners who now will, in their own careers and teachings, continue to make the world a better place.